Definitiva! Let's join them.
One of my most anticipated games of this year is Stellar Blade. Made by Korean studio Shift Up, it looks to feature a dazzling cyberpunk world where a robotic female takes on giant foreign creatures in an attempt to retake Earth. If that sounds familiar, it's because the premise is not that different from the surprise hit Nier Automata. In fact, Nier Automata was even a mentioned inspiration behind the upcoming Stellar Blade. With the release of Stellar Blade in the next few weeks, I figured there's no better time to revisit the cult classic that inspired it, Nier Automata, as the game's influence and popularity only continues to grow and grow as time passes on. Hi, my name is Jay, and these are the Gaming Essentials. Nier Automata was released 7 years ago today on the PlayStation 4 and PCs. At the time, the franchise wasn't as popular as it is today. I remember when this game was first announced, a lot of people were wondering what exactly this game was and how it's connected to the other games in the series. But now the Nier franchise has been catapulted into stardom, thanks to the breakout hit, Nier Automata. To preserve any of the game's surprises for those who haven't played it yet, I'll be avoiding any spoilers. But even without discussing too much of the game's story, it's easy to see how Nier Automata is a unique game. There's nothing else out there quite like it. It features fast-paced combat, but it also features heavy themes regarding existentialism, what it means to be human, and the future of humans versus machines. It features a story that's not as straightforward, as the characters and the player continuously uncover dark truths about the game's world. It's a game that you have to play more than once to actually complete the game and get the full picture. But it's not considered a roguelike, where the player dies and attempts to get through the game over and over and over. So whether you're a diehard fan of the game or have never played it yet, join me as I discuss why Nier Automata is essential for anyone interested in video games. Nier Automata is set in a far distant dystopian future where Earth has been taken over by aliens. The aliens who invaded Earth did so by using hordes and hordes of machines and giant robots to overtake the planet. The surviving humans who escaped this invasion fled to the moon and set up a colony there, where they've been living for the past few centuries, trying to take back their home. And now the surviving humans are attempting one big surge to take back Earth, with the help of Yorha and its androids. Enter in the game's protagonists, 2B and 9S, androids sent by the humans to go and scout out Earth and attempt to liberate it of its machine occupants. But 2B and 9S soon discover that not everything is as it seems. Earth has been decimated for centuries, and the cities have been left in rubble and destruction. The aliens are nowhere to be seen, and the robots that 2B and 9S are warned to be dangerous automatons aren't as simple. They're more complex, and they replicate human-like traits. They feel, they have emotions, they have societies, and they have families. Nier Automata is a very philosophical game. As 2B and 9S discover more and more about this world, the characters and the player begin to ask themselves questions, like what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be my true self? And how much agency over my life do I really have? Do the machines have a right to exist? What is it that makes a person, their mind or their body? And what about life is truly worth living for?
No.
It's okay. I can always reload my backup data from the bunker.
But you'll lose you, the you that exists at this very moment.
Guess so.
But what's great about Nier Automata as well is that its story and analytical themes aren't just told through cutscenes and long dialogue exchanges, but rather through its gameplay. As 2B and 9S experience the desolation and emptiness of the world around them, the player experiences this as well, with very few people and objects to interact with, and wide abandoned locations with very little to discover. And as 2B and 9S begin to question whether the machines are really the enemy, the player experiences this same confusion as well, as the robots the players destroy, cry, and scream in agony. It's heart-wrenching. and it echoes the experience of what 2B and 9S are going through in the game's story. Every aspect of Nier Automata is there to accentuate the game's themes. 2B and 9S are clothed in black and white, and their home base is seen through a black and white filter. Yet the world they explore on Earth is anything but black and white, as the moral decisions of this world aren't as clear-cut. The game requires you to play through the game more than once to understand the full story. Much like how in real life, one has to take a look at problems and situations through more than one angle to fully come to a solution. Even the names 2B and 9S are puns that emphasize the game's metaphysical questions. 2B is a play on words and echoes Shakespeare's famous question, to be or not to be. And 9S, or nines, is a pun on the German words nein and ist, meaning not is, or is not. The game is filled with many of these small details that add up to a moving, thought-provoking story that's unlike any other game out there. But it's not all about philosophical debates and vibes, as Nier Automata features gameplay and combat that blends in different genres. This blend of genres and how it mixes all of them so well together is also what helps keep the game fresh and interesting. Even though the game is mostly focused on sword-based combat, the game actually plays more like a bullet hell arcade game. Similar to games like Galaga, Returnal, or Vampire Survivors, the game throws many enemies and projectiles as the player, and it's up to them to maneuver, dodge, and wipe out these enemies as quickly as possible using wide-ranged attacks. And just like bullet hell games, the player has a light version of their attacks that can be spammed relentlessly, but they also have a heavy version of their attacks that have to be used strategically. It even has plenty of sections throughout the game where players hop into a flying vehicle and shoot enemies out in the air, not unlike Resogun and many other bullet hell shooters. Even then, however, the game is still a Platinum action game, where weapons and combos are key. Platinum is most known for working on action games like Bayonetta and Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. And Nier Automata still plays like a Platinum-developed game. Players fight off hordes of machine enemies, creating combos and juggling their opponents in the air. There are also plenty of riveting boss battles that test the player's reflexes and can prove to be fairly challenging. It's this blend of bullet hell and action game conventions alongside a meditative story that makes Nier Automata so different. There are some things about Nier Automata that aren't my favorite, however. I do wish that some of the side quests were more complex, as some of them are just simple fetch quests. And the game does suffer from some performance issues, especially when entering into combat-heavy action sequences where the game will buffer. But even with these issues, I still do think that people should give this game a try because of its amazing world, atmosphere, and amazing storytelling that can only be experienced when people pick up a controller and play it for themselves. Nier Automata has been around now for more than 7 years, and its popularity has only skyrocketed since then. The game has seen multiple collaborations with other major franchises like Soul Calibur, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and even Final Fantasy. Not only that, but Nier Automata has also had a very popular concert series and its own anime series. It's hard to imagine that Nier was, and still is to some degree, considered a cult classic, but I think Nier Automata also shows how creative and sometimes bizarre projects can find success. Unconventional projects like these don't always get widespread attention, but when they do, it's because they're great and they deserve it. It's a lot like The Matrix or Ghost in the Shell before it. These sci-fi projects are wild, crazy, and hard to describe, but they're also brave and innovative and make us think. These works of art and sci-fi as a genre encourages audiences to think about the future, existentialism, nihilism, the value of life, and the preservation of it. But it's also a genre that gets our blood rushing whenever we see our favorite characters taking on larger-than-life foes, using their fists, guns, and outlandishly huge swords. Whether or not the Nier franchise will continue remains to be seen. It's been 7 years since the game was released, and while its influence can still be felt, not many other games come close to how unique, strange, and wonderful Nier Automata is, which is why I think it's a gaming essential. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what are some games you think I should cover next. New videos come out every week, so come back again soon for more on the best that video games have to offer.